Oh, good morning. I got up a little later than intended. I set my alarm for 6. I think I got 6.5 hours of sleep. I know I need more. But I walked down to the beach. Some nice early morning fog. Even at the lighthouse, which is way off there. So it's early August, it's summer, and it's so cool, I can see my breath. My intention is to stop by a couple historical markers. Shout out to Jason, and shout out to Larry. Thank you again for letting me borrow and bring the jacket. Go all the way down to Thor's Well, stop by the 2 air museums, because the spruce goose is up here. Just gotta see that. They got so many little critter tracks down here on the beach. I saw elk tracks. I think I'm seeing, looks like raccoon tracks. The sun has come up over the mountain already. Well, not the mountain, well, the mountain ridge, hills, whatever. So, got to get these shots before the morning mist fog rolls away. I'm gonna make some moody photos out of it anyway, just add some fog back in. But holy shit. That is the second biggest rock I've ever seen. There it is. Haystack. I wonder if there's any... I can see some birds, mostly gulls, flying around it. I wonder if there's any puffins at this time. I don't know. Oh yeah, also looks like a bunch of other photographers out there as well, so good company, I guess. I don't know, some people don't like other photographers in the area. I'm getting used to it. As I was saying, Thor's Well, Air Museum, the Tillamook stuff. Gotta see who's got the best chowder here, Moe's or Gracie's. It's gonna be a good day. Lots of driving. So, need to find a gas station already. It's only the second day. I'm gonna record a whole lot more. Gotta get a lot more pictures too. Here we go.
So as you can see, despite the almost completely blue sky, no clouds, it was the perfect opportunity to finally cross it off the bucket list and dip my hands in the Pacific Ocean and to focus on a very nice composition. And I think the shot turned out pretty well. And of course, one can't help but notice the birds taking all the meat out of the crabs and just leaving them on the beach because, you know, nature is neat like that.
This is a friggin' meditative spot, to be honest. Because, you know, how could you not? So after I get enough shots with the 24-70, I'm going to switch over to the 70-200. Still not sure if there's any puffins, but I'm probably going to see how close I can get to the gulls that are on top of the rock. Either way, make for a good time. I'm pretty sure the tide's starting to come in a little too this morning, but yeah. Whew. Look at all these black stones. Everything is nifty. Everything is awesome this morning. And to be quite honest, I'm not sure with this composition within Haystack Rock. It looks like this tiny bit of rock at the bottom is blending in with the bigger rock, and it kind of makes it look like a cave hole going in there. But I saw some waves coming out of it, and I thought, let me try that composition. Can't promise it'll work, but I think it looks pretty good. Or we'll find out in the editing room. But off to this side here, yeah. The waves are crashing more and more against these rocks. I figured, hey, that'll make a really good photo, I hope. Now that that is done, it's time to get the birds on top of the rock.
All right, not everything can turn out perfect. Some things just look better as a relaxing video, and some shots like this turn out better as a photo.
All right, I think that's enough for photos and video for this spot for this morning. Plus, I'm getting hungry. I need to eat breakfast. There's still mist here. It's great. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to have to leave before I even got up this morning so I can make it down to the waterfalls in time. But, yeah. All right, so on to the first stop. Gosh, it's Mr. Gower Street.
Mr. Gower.
Yeah, Cannon Beach, I've got to say, is just a very nice, quiet, quaint little town. And like all the restaurants close at 9. Everything closes at 9. Only one, I think the Driftwood restaurant was staying open till 11. And I had a very late dinner again last night. Whew. I'm glad they were open though, because I was starving. But yeah, this is nice. I ended up walking the back roads of the town. Just quiet roads with the houses. I've never really experienced the, quiet, picturesque little seaside town. Seaside's further up the road. God, no. Picturesque. Even the houses here. It's like the real estate photographer in me wants to go shoot something. Like, no, don't do that. But here, I'm going to try the pig and pancake for breakfast. Okay, the audio in the restaurant didn't turn out so well, and I was trying to be subtle recording with my phone, but I will say, for the pig and pancake, their hollandaise sauce, it was on par, just as good, if not a little better than Little Gretel's down here in the hill country. So I like it, and I'm not a coffee drinker, but they made a damn fine cup of coffee. Anyway, back on the road. And then, of course, I had to stop at a few overlooks and viewpoints along the coast because 101 is just, it's breathtaking. It's beautiful to take it all in at just about any time of day. Behind me here is Devil's Cauldron. So I'm going to get over here. And can't really, took a photo of it, but underneath is there's the cauldron down there. It is something else. Actually, all this is something else. So composition, basically, I did both horizontal and vertical just to get this huge cliff face and the trees. Tried to get the bottom, but also because now they there we go. Hey, how you doing? Also, they got all these guy wires. Everything is blocked off. You can't even walk out a little more onto the cliff here. I mean, you used to be able to walk there, but not with the wires. So do not cross, and I'm not going to violate that rule and potentially kill myself. There's a cross over there, and it's got the years of people who have already died. So, yeah, this ended up being the first stop. I think I took a little longer than I should have, but oh well. I'm going to head right back to the car and keep going down to a couple historical markers, or at least one that I know of. So, look at that! This is what gets me. You never see anything like this in person, but for your first time coming out to something like this and seeing it, it's like, wow. Nature is really something. Don't screw with Mother Nature. That's about as far into that as I'm going to go, but kind of hoping maybe see a whale or something off the coast, but got a longer distance to drive, probably past, I forget the point, where there's whale lookouts. So may stop by there for like 5 minutes. I don't expect to see any whales here.
So next, stop by the post office in Manzanita. Those of you who have played Red Dead Redemption 2 will get that joke. I hope. And speaking of which, I can see so much of Oregon in that game, Red Dead Redemption 2. It's uncanny.
And the only footage of B-roll that I recorded more than I needed was naturally the driving. Holy crap, there's a train. That's really cool. But is it coming this way? I can't tell. Oh, it's going backwards. There she is, fellas, the Tillamook Air Museum off in the distance, and her size is deceptive.
Okay, this is... I knew it was going to be big, but it's like the size of a mountain. Not just the plane when I went by, but this hangar for the blimp that was here in World War II. Oh boy. This thing is massive. Actually, massive might be an understatement, but yeah.
Oh yeah, getting to experience all the history found within this hangar it's awe-inspiring. It's amazing. It's so many adjectives. It's hard to describe unless you go for yourself.
The plane.
And off to one side are a few rooms of expansive little miniature models of all the battles and the theater during World War II. And of course, more driving. I had to stop off just after Depot Bay, I believe. Didn't get to see any whales at this particular spot, but
The water is so blue. So much bluer than Galveston in the Gulf. I love it.
at this point in the day, it's about a little after noon, maybe a little after 1 o'clock, and the wind is starting to pick up. I thought it was just for this particular area, so I didn't pay it much mind. And here we are at the Devil's Punch Bowl. Unfortunately, they had the path blocked off to go down in there, even though the tide was very, very low, at least within the arch. Now here off the coast, I felt this was a little more relaxing and meditative, but also a nice shape.
I gotta switch to the 70 to 200 because there's a whale right out here. I just saw the back of it, so I gotta get closer before it comes up again. I think it might have been a gray whale, because I'm assuming the gray whales near Otter Rock are the most common ones. But holy shit! Just saw a whale in the wild. I've never seen that.
Oh yeah. It's moments like this you just gotta treasure. Now we're down to Spouting Horn, and despite all the research I did on what the weather would be like, the wind and the waves, here's the angle that looks good. But behind me is Thor's Well, and just looking at this is anxiety inducing, and I can already tell it's not going to be a smart or safe move to try to go out there very close to get the shot. I will say I tried to get as close as I could while standing and jumping onto each rock, but the water was so high. I'm glad that I lived, and I'm glad my camera survived, because we were both on the verge. All I'm saying is, regardless of how good you think a shot is going to be or how badly you want it, it is never worth risking your safety.
I'm gonna have to call it. It's not worth the safety. It's too windy. This place is becoming a really bad tourist trap. There's kids right near Thor's Well, and these waves are big and strong. I am so glad that I'm wearing my waterproof hiking boots. I don't know if anyone's going to be able to hear this. No, it ain't going to work. But I saw it. So there's something. I mean, unless the wind dies down completely. No.
But the Spouting Horn was awesome. Yes, go ahead. Insert your phallic jokes here. And I was so upset that I couldn't get a cell signal for a while at many parts along the coast. And I wanted to get down to one more lighthouse, but I couldn't find where it was. GPS wasn't working, so after 30 minutes of driving, I decided to turn back. And then when I got a cell signal, I realized I was only 2 miles from it. So, live and learn. But
okay, somehow all of this is still wet, even though I thought I wiped everything off with Thor's Well. Yeah, I'm still kicking myself, and I'm still upset that Thor's Well did not work out. That was one of my big hopes for this trip. But Lord, there is just a lot of wind along the coast today, or at least this late afternoon. So at least there's some rolling fog came in at the moment, and it's not gonna last. It's heading right back out, but it is blocking the sun directly, so that's pretty cool. And I took a few shots from the distance so I wouldn't catch the people coming towards my way, and it's kind of minimalistic. There's a good amount of negative space, but I do like a dark and moody shot, and I think somehow I succeeded in that. But now that we're close up, I think 24 mil is the best I'm gonna be able to do right here, because it's so, oh my god, it's so big. I'm hearing a lot of weird sounds from over the edge, and my tripod's gonna be blown over. I know drones are kind of prohibited, but it sounds like the whirring of a drone. Maybe that's just the wind, but let's go check it out. Well, that would explain it. This lens filter is, try wiping it off. Doesn't look all that great, but I don't know if you can see into the distance. That sound is a lot of gulls on another rock right there, so it's interesting to say the least, but for a minute I thought it was like a rock full of puffins, but no. Actually, no, I'm wrong. It's gulls and puffins. Ah, that's cool.
Well, in the moment, I thought it wasn't going to turn out well because the lens of the camera was just so much moisture, kept fogging up. All this, it was so cold, so windy, and I didn't think it was going to work. But the image of the lighthouse closer up turned out to be something that I felt the less clarity, the better. You know, a lighthouse kind of trapped in a fog. I was like, oh, that's actually pretty interesting, composition-wise. Plus, from further away, this image looked like a pure black and white shot almost. Even though it's in color, it just looked very dull and gray. I was like, oh, that's cool. When the light and everything can make something look black and white when it really isn't. Pretty nifty. So this is the end of the second video, and I'll post the images at the very end. But while we're here, if you'd be so kind as to give the video a like and maybe hit the subscribe button, it would certainly help the channel out a lot for me. I'd greatly appreciate it. In the next video, we're going to hike almost a mile up a mountainside to get my best shot ever of a waterfall. And then I'm going to get to see 5 mountains from one point. And I got to tell you, it is pretty emotional.
I'm at the top of a mountain!
So, thank you very much for watching. Y'all be excellent, and I will see you in part 3 of the trilogy.
It's not that there's more photographers out here this morning, it's just people going for their morning walk.
The Oregon Coast Part 2, the sequel, Revenge of the Killer Coast.